in this video, I'm going to be posting a two-part series on the Australian dollar versus the Swiss franc. And this will be the first series, and it will just be a blueprint really of what I'm looking at over the next course of June and going into July, and just to highlight just my trade plan, my ideas in terms of the long-term projection of what I see following through with this particular trade or this asset. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into this. Just to highlight also that we do have a TikTok channel for Anglo-Sax where the trades that I take when I'm uploading these videos are on the TikTok channel, and basically it's just in kind of just in collaboration really with the actual £120 challenge to £10,000. And a lot of these videos that I'm putting out are kind of in collaboration with that TikTok channel. So taking £120 to £10,000, and I believe at the moment the actual balance is I believe we're up about 150% on the account. So it's only like, I think it's like we're sitting at £180, so it's still very tiny. The account is, but we're going to continue to push that account to £10,000 and document that through TikTok and also through some of these YouTube videos that we're uploading. So just to get into the video at the moment, currently sitting on a 4-hour chart, and yeah, we're going to be looking for buys going into this new week. There's a lot of volatility that's going to be coming into the market throughout the course of this week based off some of the macroeconomic announcements that we have in store. So specifically around the US, so the federal funds rate, we're going to have an announcement whether they're going to continue to hold their interest rate or start looking at peeling back that interest rate in relation to what we've seen already last week with the ECB and also with the Canadian Central Bank. They've trimmed back their policy rate, and I'm quite dovish. I expect there to be some road ahead in terms of seeing the federal funds rate reduced from where it's currently sitting. It's been sitting at that that high for over a year now, since July of 2023, and I think it sits within 5.25 between 5.5%. And if they continue to hold that interest rate at that level for a longer term, that's going to affect just some other components that shape their economy basically, and it can also pose a threat for imports and things like that. So I'm dovish. I expect them to start setting out their plan to reduce that interest rate, maybe this month or going into the month of September as well. So there was some projection of three to four interest rate hikes in 2024. None of that has happened, and at the moment I think the current narrative is for 2 interest rate reductions. So not hikes but reductions. We haven't had one of those yet. So this week is going to be very pivotal in terms of the volatility in the market. It's going to influence what the currency pairs are going to do. There's going to be manipulation as well. We've got CPI for the US and interest rate information coming out this week. So lots of volatility on the table. So opportunity as well to trade around the news, not going into the news because we don't trade events, but just leading up to the news and so on and so forth, and after the news has happened. So I'm looking at this instrument here, the Australian against the Swiss franc, and I'm interested in, for the short term, so short term pullback, looking for support at this key level. What we got here, 59,000, or even this midpoint here at 58.5. This level here in terms of where my cursor's at, and I'll be looking for in terms of a profit target from around here, around this key level. I'm looking at 59.50 as a profit target, which is 50 pips, and also maybe a 100 pip profit target as well if we can get that far this week. So that would be profit target here of 100 pips, so around here up to here, around 100 pips. And if those trades are taken and executed, that will be uploaded to the Anglo-Sax TikTok channel so that you can see that and you can kind of cross-validate where the trades were taken and if those trades were successful and so on and so forth. The reason why I'm interested in uploading a video around this particular instrument or currency pair is just because we've had a 200 pip drop from this key level here. So we had a resistance here at 61,000 and we've come all the way down without trading back up. We've not had any form of pullback or anything of that nature. And just in terms of what I'm looking at on the back end, I'm able to see that there's opportunity here for a pullback, either here or up here. And if we do get a pullback, say beyond here up to here, then in this region here, I will be looking to take shorts long term. I'll be looking to sell into this into these levels long term because my data has already provided to me that there's been a shift in the dynamics of this particular trade. So I don't believe it's going to go longer or higher for the long term. I believe for the longer term, this market's going to start to drop, and I believe that we're going to start to see prices reach down to this key level and probably even down to here or a midpoint level here in the long term. So that means over the next 30 to 40 days, I'm not looking for bullish prices. I'm looking for shorts on this particular pair. But for the short term, intra-week, in June, for the month of June, I am looking for some pullback so I can take advantage of some profit taking at this level and it's at this level also. So yeah, it's just really just a really kind of quick upload of this pair, and this is the blueprint that I'm looking at. So short-term bullish, long-term bearish, and there will be a part 2 that I upload for this particular trade at the end of June, because that allows a lot more data to be printed on the chart, and it will help me as I provide my second part to the analysis, because by that point, if the market trades higher and it starts to find resistance here, I am looking for key resistance at this midpoint here and also at this level as well. That should allow me then just to kind of break down what I'm looking at for part 2 in terms of the downward trajectory of this particular pair. So short-term bullish, long-term bearish, and I can see some bullish trades that could potentially form going into the second week of June with profit targets of this midpoint, 50 pips, 100 pips, and then we'll see how that, because 5 days is not a long time in terms of the market, but we know that within 5 days a lot can happen. So yeah, I think just to highlight as well, I think for these kind of pairs here, like the Australian versus the Swiss franc, I don't know if you know anything about the characteristics of these pairs, but they tend to rally during the Asian session, and that's when the market is. So when I say rally, what I'm trying to say is in the Asian session, they tend to have quite a bit of volume in the Asian session, followed by a retracement in London, and then depending on the direction of the market, you normally get that second or that third volume in the direction of the market. So if the market's bullish, you might see the market rally in Asia, trade down into London, and then during the New York session is trade higher again, based off that overall direction of the market. And we can see something of that here. We had this rally in Asia on this particular day here. Like we trade up in Asia, we trade down in London, and then we trade up in New York, but then we trade, let's just take this off. I don't think that's the best example actually. What would be the best example to give for this specific trade? Let's have a look. See if there's a good example here. Just that correlates with what I'm talking about in terms of an uptrend. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is quite a good example here. So we have this push in Asia, we have this retracement in London, and then we have a push again in New York, and then again push in Asia, a retracement in London, going into London, well, I'd say there's a retracement push in Asia, a bit of a retracement in Asia, then a push in London, and then we have a push down in New York, and we have again a big push in Asia, bit of a drop here in London, and then a push in New York. So something like that when the market's trading higher. Again, it's not a perfect pattern. It's not something that you can just always live and trade by, but it's just the characteristics of this particular instrument. It tends to follow that type of behavior when it's trading higher, and it's kind of the inverse when it's trading down. I don't think there's anything really to say other than that. Just looking for some key support around this level, and then potentially around this level if there's too much volume based off the macroeconomic announcements that we've got coming up this week. If it's just too bearish and it just pushes the market down further, another 50 pips, then for sure, we're definitely going to see a pullback in June. And again, I'll be looking for buys around here, looking to take profit here. Again, if we can find support going into the third week of June, then I'll be looking to enter here and take profit up here. So I'm looking for 100 pips in total in terms of a profit target. Just depends on where we get into the trade, and if this particular pair can hold up around this key level throughout the course of this second week in June. As we know, we can discern that this market has been trending quite nicely since February of 24. We've been in this nice uptrend on a daily time frame. We've had some support at these key levels. The support was here. We had a retest here from this place at this 57. Support was built here, traded up, resistance, retracement. Support was found here at 58.50, and then the market rallies, and then we haven't really come back down to retest this level since April. So we've rallied, resistance, we drop back down, we trade back up, down 2 days, and then we break through the key level, trade right back up, and then find resistance here at this key level, and then we start to retrace and trade down. No support was found here, so this for me would be an area. This is why I'm saying here on the daily. Let's have a look. Let's take this. No, I don't want that. Let's clear this. I want this. So this is why I'm saying support and then a retest of this key level, and then we can hopefully see prices probably a bounce here, and then this drop down to this key level, because this key level here, and then maybe a midpoint level here over the next 30 to 40 days long term. Yeah, and then once that's complete, that cycle's complete, then we can kind of look at the next phase of the market. So just to reiterate, short-term bullish intraday for pullbacks, and then long-term intra-month bearish based off the shift in the market. And I'm looking at a market now that's ready to kind of trade lower, but before it trades, because we've had a big 200 pip drop, then we're gonna hopefully see some push back up to this key level. And those when those trades are taken, I'll post them on TikTok, so you can see the progression on the account from £120 to £10,000. It's a live account, and it will all be documented in as the trades are executed on, and using these videos here on this channel, Anglo-Sax, and just to document that process, just to show what's possible, and just to leave that footprint, and also give us the opportunity to be able to showcase what we do down the line, to future investors, etc. And yeah, if you like this type of, if you like these videos, if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to comment and subscribe if this channel, kind of fits your way of thinking. Any questions in terms of how we look at the market, how we break the market down, if we can answer those questions without compromising the knowledge and information that we have, then I'm more than happy to do that. And yeah, hopefully down the line we can share more videos, more insights, and just provide maybe just a little bit of an opportunity just to come behind the scenes and see what we see and what we're looking at from a very statistical and quantitative driven perspective. And just in terms of what we have in the woodworks, we have some automation features that we're working on, for Anglo-Sax as a proprietary trading firm, some algorithmic trading automation algorithms Not specifically for the forex market at the moment. It's more going to be around the crude oil. But yeah, you know, down the line, hopefully we can start to share some live trades of the algorithm and how it performs, you know, on autopilot once it's up and running and it's, you know, it's out of that development phase. But other than that, that's all from us here at Anglo Sax, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.